On the seventh day of hearings, lawmakers drilled down on just how many people in the president's circle were ready to throw in the towel in the weeks before the former president incited rioters to attack the Capitol. And they told him that over and over and over again.
Did I believe he should concede the election at a point in time? Yes, I did.
December 14th was the day that the states certified their votes and sent them to Congress. And in my view, that was the end of the matter.
I think it was my sentiment probably prior as well.
I believed at that point that the means for him to pursue litigation was probably closed.
So Trump did what anyone would do and dreamed up a scheme to issue an executive order directing the Secretary of Defense to seize voting machines and appoint attorney and professional vote fraud conspiracy theorist Sidney Powell as a special counsel with the power to charge people with crimes over non-existent election interference. Here's what former White House counsel Pat Cippolone said he told the president about that plan.
I was vehemently opposed. I didn't think she should be appointed to anything. To have the federal government seize voting machines, that's a terrible idea for the country. That's not how we do things in the United States. There's no legal authority to do that. And there is a way to contest elections. I don't understand why we even have to tell you why that's a bad idea for the country. It's a terrible idea.
Still, Trump pushed on, which ultimately led to what several witnesses described as a curse-laden screaming match in the Oval Office with the president, Powell, Rudy Giuliani, and General Michael Flynn demanding they move forward with the plan.
She says, well, the judges are corrupt. And I was like, everyone? Every single case that you've done in the country you guys lost, every one of them is corrupt? Even the ones we appointed? And I'm being nice. I was much more harsh to her. What they were proposing, I thought was nuts. Flynn screamed at me that I was a quitter and everything, kept on standing up and turning around and screaming at me. And then at a certain point, I had it with him. So I yelled back. I had to come over, or sit your effing ass back down.
And it was immediately after that meeting that Trump fired off this tweet at 1:42 a.m. Big protest in D.C. on January 6th. Be there, will be wild. And his supporters clearly got the message.
He is now calling on we, the people, to take action and to show our numbers.
We're going to only be saved by millions of Americans moving to Washington, occupying the entire area, if necessary, storming right into the Capitol.
It's going to be a red wedding going down January 6th. There's going to be 1 million plus geeked up armed Americans.
The time for games is over. The time for action is now. Where were you when history called? Where were you when you and your children's destiny and future was on the line?
At Red Wedding references from Game of Thrones, it means massacre. And on social media, as the committee showed, supporters posted messages like, Trump just told us all to come armed. It will be wild means we need volunteers for the firing squad. Why don't we just kill them? The average Democrat is a traitor. The punishment for treason is death. White revolution is the only solution, and so on. Among the many inspired by Trump's call on voter fraud conspiracy theories was Stephen Ayres, who spoke before the committee today about why he was among those who stormed the Capitol and the one thing that ultimately made him stop.
I was very upset, as were most of his supporters. That's basically what got me to come down here.
What made you decide to leave?
Basically, when President Trump put his tweet out, we literally left right after that come out. To me, if he would have done that earlier in the day, 1:30, we wouldn't be in this, maybe we wouldn't be in this bad of a situation.
But as bad as it was on January 6th, another of today's witnesses, a former spokesman for the Oath Keepers militant group who left the organization years before the riots, says we were lucky it wasn't worse, thanks to the extremists he once worked with, who he believes have been emboldened by Donald Trump.
I think we've gotten exceedingly lucky that more bloodshed did not happen because the potential has been there from the start. What it was going to be was an armed revolution. I mean, people died that day. Law enforcement officers died this day. There was a gallows set up in front of the Capitol. This could have been the spark that started a new civil war. What else is he going to do if he gets elected again? All bets are off at that point.